Let me take you back to last spring. Oakwood High School. A pretty normal place. You had your jocks, your nerds, the kids who slept in class, and the teachers who just tried to survive until summer break. But there was one teacher who made everyone stop and LOOKM's Rivera, the art teacher. She wasn't just good-looking. She was the kind of good-looking that made the other teachers jealous, and the students forget their homework existed. Long hair, always wearing these flowy dresses with paint stains on them, and a smile that could calm down a room full of screaming teenagers. But here's the thing. She was also really good at her job. She actually cared. She stayed late to help students, brought extra snacks for kids who couldn't afford lunch, and never raised her voice. Everyone loved her, including one student who really shouldn't have. His name was Marcus, 17 years old. Smart but lazy. The kind of kid who could get an A if he wanted to, but thought it was cooler to act like he didn't care. He talked back to teachers, skipped class at least twice a week, and had a permanent detention slot reserved in the principal's office. Every teacher had given up on him, except Ms. Rivera. She saw something in Marcus. She saw that he wasn't bad. He was just bored and lonely. His dad left when he was 10. His mom worked 2 jobs, so she was never around. Marcus acted tough because being soft had only gotten him hurt. BEFOREM's Rivera didn't kick him out of her class when he made dumb jokes. She didn't send him to the office when he showed up late. Instead, she pulled him aside one day and said something that changed everything. She said, "Marcus, you're not stupid. You're just not trying. And I'm not going to let you waste that brain of yours. So here's the deal. You come to detention with me after school, but instead of sitting there doing nothing, you help me clean the art room, and we talk." Marcus laughed at first, but he showed up. That first intention, he just sat in the corner with his hood up, not saying a word. Ms. Rivera didn't push. She just played music, cleaned her brushes, and painted a little on her own canvas. After about 45 minutes of silence, Marcus looked up and said, "What are you painting?" She smiled. "A storm?" Because storms look chaotic. But if you look close enough, there's a pattern to them. That line hit Marcus harder than he expected. He started showing up to detention on purpose. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. They would talk about art, about music, about nothing. Then one day, Marcus opened up about his dad. He didn't cry. He didn't get emotional, but he said, "I don't think anyone's ever looked at me the way you do. Like, I'm not just some screw-up." Ms. Rivera should have set a boundary right there. That was the moment a good teacher would have said, "I care about you as a student." And that's where this ends. But she didn't, because she was lonely too. She was 26 years old. Fresh out of a bad breakup, her friends had all moved to different cities. Her only real human connection most days was with a room full of teenagers who didn't really know her. And here was this kid who actually saw her, who listened, who made her laugh. The weeks went by. Detention turned into after-school chats that stretched from 1 hour into 3. Other students noticed. Whispers started. Why is Marcus always in the art room? Why does Ms. Rivera only smile at him? Most people brushed it off. Teachers are nice to students sometimes, right? No big deal. But then came the night of the spring art show. Every year, the art department puts on a big event where students show off their best work. Parents come, teachers come. Even the mayor sometimes shows up. Marcus didn't have any art in the show because he never turned in his projects. But Miss Rivera convinced him to come anyway. She said, "Just watch. See what other kids your age are making? Maybe next year that'll be you." The show ended around 9 p.m. Everyone went home. Miss Rivera stayed behind to pack up the leftover food and take down the displays. Marcus stayed too. He said he wanted to help. They were alone in the art room. The lights were dim. Music was still playing softly from the speakers. And something shifted. Marcus looked at her differently that night. Not like a student looking at a teacher, Like a guy looking at a girl. He walked over to her while she was wiping down a table and said, "You know you're the only reason I haven't dropped out, right?" Ms. Rivera stopped moving. She didn't say anything. Marcus stepped closer. "I'm not a kid. I know what I feel, and I know you feel it too." She should have walked away. She should have said, "This is inappropriate. You need to leave." But she didn't, because she did feel it. And in that quiet, empty room, with no one watching, she let herself forget for 1 second that she was the teacher and he was the student. They kissed. It wasn't some big Hollywood moment. It was quick, almost nervous. And then Ms. Rivera pulled back immediately and said, "This can never happen again. Do you understand?" Marcus nodded, but they both knew that was a lie.
Here's where things get messy. Keeping a secret in high school is like trying to hide an elephant in a broom closet. Someone's going to notice. And someone did. A student named Chloe had forgotten her phone in the art room during the show. She came back to get it around 9:30. But when she got to the door, she saw something through the small window. Ms. Rivera and Marcus. Standing close. Way too close. Chloe didn't see the kiss itself, but she saw the way Marcus touched Ms. Rivera's arm. The way she didn't pull away right away. That was enough. By the next morning, the rumor had mutated into 10 different versions. Some kids said Marcus and Ms. Rivera had been dating for months. Some said they saw them leaving school together at night. One kid even claimed Marcus had posted photos on a private Instagram story. None of it was true. But it didn't matter. The damage was already done. The school became a war zone. Students took sides. Some defended Ms. Rivera, saying Marcus was lying or making things up. Others called her every name in the book. Teachers started treating Marcus differently. Like he was dangerous. Like he had somehow tricked an adult woman into liking him. The principal, Mr. Thompson, called both of them into his office separately. Marcus was first. He sat in that hard plastic chair and swore nothing happened. "She's just my teacher. She helped me. That's it." Mr. Thompson didn't believe him. You could see it in his eyes. Then Ms. Rivera came in. She was shaking. She denied everything too. But when Mr. Thompson said, "Chloe saw you two alone after hours. What was Marcus doing with his hand on your arm?" Ms. Rivera couldn't answer. She just sat there, staring at the floor. Here's the thing about secrets. They eat you alive from the inside. Ms. Rivera stopped sleeping. She stopped eating. Every time she walked down the hallway, she heard whispers. Every time a student laughed, she thought they were laughing at her. Marcus tried to text her one time. Just a simple, "You okay?" She didn't reply. She couldn't.
The breaking point came 3 weeks later. Marcus was in gym class when his phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. It was a screenshot of a conversation between two teachers. One of them had written, "I always knew there was something off about Rivera. You don't spend that much time alone with a student unless something's wrong." The other teacher replied, "Someone should call the district before she does this again with another kid." Marcus lost it. He didn't care about protecting himself anymore. He walked straight to the principal's office, slammed the door open and said, "Fine, you want the truth? Nothing happened, but everyone already thinks it did, so what's the difference? You've already ruined her life." Mr. Thompson leaned back in his chair. "Marcus, if something did happen, you're not the one in trouble. She is, so tell me the truth right now. Did Ms. Rivera ever touch you inappropriately?" Marcus looked at the floor. He thought about that kiss. How for 5 seconds he felt like someone actually wanted him. How now that same person couldn't even look at him in the hallway. He said, "No, she never touched me." But the principal had already made up his mind. He called the district. An investigation started. Ms. Rivera was put on administrative leave. That means she couldn't come to school, couldn't teach, couldn't even say goodbye to her students. Marcus never saw her again after that day. A month later, the investigation ended. They didn't find proof of anything physical. No texts, no photos, no witnesses, besides Chloe, who only saw them standing close. But the damage was done. Ms. Rivera resigned quietly. She moved to a different state, changed her name on social media, disappeared. Marcus finished the school year, but he wasn't the same. He stopped talking in class, stopped showing up to detention, stopped caring. The one adult who actually believed in him was gone, and he knew deep down that he was part of the reason why. So what's the lesson here? It's not just about teachers and students crossing lines. It's about how fast a rumor can destroy two lives. Ms. Rivera made a mistake, a big one. She was the adult. She should have known better. But she wasn't a monster. She was just lonely, and lonely people do dumb things. Marcus wasn't a victim or a villain. He was a kid who wanted to feel seen. And the rest of the school? They didn't care about the truth. They just wanted a story, something to talk about at lunch, something to post online. They got what they wanted, and two people paid the price. If you take one thing from this video, let it be this: secrets don't stay buried. Rumors don't ask for proof. And the person you destroy with a whispered sentence might be someone who didn't deserve it.